Bob, we appreciate you taking the time to spend with us to talk about bees. A lot of us here on the screen right now have various experiences, skill sets, scales, and contexts in which we are working bees within. And a lot of folks, Bob, listening tonight, they are not on their while they are on the maybe a similar journey with their bees. They're at a completely different scale than all of us on the screen. But one thing that we all share in common is we all really want to make sure and see that our bees overwinter and really bust loose and are beautiful in the springtime. With your 40 years of experience, we thought it would be great to have you on tonight to kind of talk to us a little bit about your personal strategy for wintering your bees. And I can't help to think there's so many questions about that, but you've been keeping bees for 40 years. A lot of folks are familiar with the story that you've shared, all the way clear up in Oregon to eventually down to where you're at in Georgia. How long has it taken you to finally arrive to a set of tenants that you follow every year to increase your wintering success? Have you ever gotten to a point to where you're comfortable saying, here are the steps, here are the things that we're going to do this year, and you are comfortable and confident doing it without second guessing and worrying?
Well, let's see, maybe another 10 years, No, there's some things that I really believe and we try to do. One thing is a good queen. We could talk about mites and all that. That part of it, that's public enemy number one. Let's just act like your mites are taken care of, and that's not what we're talking about here. A really good queen, whether it's this season or last season, I think it's important that she's not been through more than one spring buildup. If she's gone through two spring buildups, the odds of her overwintering have dropped significantly. Now, yes, I know a lot of people are listening and saying, well, I've got a 2-year-old or a 3-year-old queen and they're doing great. But, the odds drop after you've gone through one spring. Now, she could be a year and a half old and still have only gone through one spring. And that's my main thing. Even though I might have some queens from the previous year that make it and do okay, the odds are, I don't know how to put a number on it, but the odds are much less that you'll have success with a 2-year-old queen than you would have one, and so on. And your best success, of course, is going to be with a queen from this current calendar year. We try to requeen all our colonies every year. We don't always get it done, but right now I'd say probably 90, maybe 95% of our colonies have been requeened. And that right there will give us 10, 15% better overwintering success. And then, of course, the queens from this calendar year will give us the best colonies for splitting and shaking packages and doing whatever we want to. So queens is a big deal. Unlike you, I don't know about Ohio so much, but here in Northeast Georgia, we go through a pretty good dearth period from late July to the 1st of September. And I found that feeding very thin syrup through that August dearth kind of keeps the bees up a little bit. They seem to be a little healthier going into the goldenrod pollen flow. You mentioned goldenrod. We don't have a nectar flow from goldenrod, but we do have a decent pollen flow. Different variety is my guess. If you caught that one video of mine where I was talking to my neighbor Jack, I thought I knew, but apparently I didn't. How many goldenrod varieties there are? There's over 30 in the country, and I know we've got 5 or 6 right here. So I have to guess that you guys have a different variety up there than we do. I used to think maybe it was soil type, but now I'm thinking it's probably variety. So I like feeding very thin syrup, like 1.5 parts water to 1 point sugar at a moderate pace during the month of August. I'm not trying to put on a bunch of weight. I'm just trying to keep the bees just slightly stimulated, keep that hygienic behavior, stimulated, and that chemistry that occurs when they're adding enzymes to the same as if it was fresh incoming nectar. And that puts us into September in pretty good shape. And of course, during that period, I'm also treating for mites. So it's kind of those two things at once. Besides that, though, those are the two main things I do. I'm getting to be a big proponent of not having a lot of really old, black, nasty comb. I think that is a bigger issue than people think. And I've been lately, whenever I speak to a club, and I'm going to be doing it several times this winter still. I'm going to be at the Indiana State Club, Northern Kentucky, and the Virginia Club in the next couple of months. And I'm going to give them the same presentation on old comb and just what kind of problems it can be causing us. Again, synergistic interactions and stuff like that. So formic acid actually doesn't have bad interactions with many things anyway. Some things do, but formic, what else would be in my colony? Thymol, perhaps some amitraz from the past. I don't think I have issues with that. But for good overwintering, I think you got to have reasonable comb too. That old black nasty stuff that a lot of people have, that's not good for overwintering either. You're experiencing sublethal doses of chemicals if you have old black comb, and that's not good either. I think that's something a lot of people don't think about. Bob, that old comb presentation you did in Clanton was very informative. Yeah, I think so. I'm going to try to get it on YouTube soon. I think it's a good one. I got to get the right recording so I don't sound dumb. I sound smart. You guys know this, sometimes on these YouTube videos, we look pretty good. That's because we've learned how to edit and pick the right footage. That's my case too.
That's the secret.
Get that presentation up sometime after the first of the year when I get a good version of it.